This is a Zach Feldman Show replay on ZRadioLive.com.
The website music station Z Radio Live. This is the Zach Feldman Show. Joining me over the phone is Christopher Laird. He is the director of a brand new stage show called The True Meaning of Christmas from the Perspective of an Alien. Christopher, thanks for joining me here on the Zach Feldman Show. How's everything going?
Man, Zach, everything's going wonderful, man. Thank you so much for having me on today.
Yeah, it's great to talk to you, and it's great to talk to you again, too, because we talked in the past, and now we're talking about your brand new stage show, which, honestly, I'm impressed that you even got a stage show out there, which is, I feel like it's a ton of work to do that. That's definitely a dream of mine to even do a stage show. But tell me about this brand new show. It's called An Alien Christmas.
Well, this is a unique stage play, and it's Christmas themed, and it's a comedy, so it should be very entertaining for all people. But the play is based off a book, a short story that I wrote a few years ago, and the short story is only about 40 pages, but it was concise enough where we could turn it into a stage play. So I mean, it's basically about an alien called Xany. She is 300 million light years away from Earth and 800 years in the future. Mm-hmm. However, she has a human boyfriend who is, still on Earth in 1941. So she time travels back to 1941 to tell him a secret. Well, it's not so much of a secret, but they changed history. Her prior visit over the summer. So she comes back during Christmas time, and then she's asking him, what is this holiday called Christmas? What is Santa Claus? What does Santa Claus have to do with Jesus? And she's asking him all these questions, and he's able to answer a few of them. But the more she's grilling him, the more he finds out he doesn't know what Christmas is all about. So they kind of find out what Christmas is together through this. It's just this crazy comedy. And they kind of find out what Christmas means for the both of them. So it's very entertaining.
My biggest question is, why didn't you add yourself into the stage play itself, or you just wanted to stay as director?
You know what? It was almost tempting to do that. But I think I would find it difficult to actually be in the play and memorize lines, and also be on the sidelines directing, critiquing, things of that nature. So it would have been double duty for me, which I think that's something I didn't want. So I think I'll just stick to the directing for now.
That's fair. And is this your first? This is your first play you've ever directed, correct?
Yes, this is my first play.
Was this a huge challenge? A huge, when did this thing start? When did you really start planning this thing out? I'm sure this took a long time to kind of ferment.
It did, Zach. So we were planning to have the play. Well, I wrote the book in 2019, and then we decided to adapt it to a stage play for 2020. And of course, COVID hit, so everything was canceled for that year. So we said, well, we're going to do it for 2021. However, I didn't know what COVID was going to look like by this time of year. Mm-hmm. So I just had to kind of try to forecast as best as I could. Are we going to do a live play, or are we going to do an online, live streaming type of thing? So I made the decision in 2020 in December. Okay, we're just going to do it online. We'll just live stream it because I don't know what COVID is going to look like, by the last quarter of 2021. So so the play is going to be online. It's going to be live streamed. But Zach, I tell you, doing this play was an enormous challenge. Yeah. At first, it was like, oh, okay, this is not bad. But when you have, because it's a musical too, so when you try to incorporate music into the play, it can be a little bit challenging because, I know nothing about music. I like to listen to it, of course. But when you're trying to incorporate into a play and making sure that the music and the keys correspond with the performers, then you kind of get a little, okay, what can we do to make this better? but it was an enormous challenge. And I think for the next play, I would definitely hire some more help, for the
Hmm.
production. But nonetheless, it was a lot of fun.
It looks like fun, and you also have a great cast, including Isis Demel, who is Xana Barai. Tell me about how you connected with her.
Well, finding a pool, for available actors and competent actors and singers
Mhm.
was really challenging. So when I found Isis, she was perfect for the role. And the role is extremely demanding because not only do you have a lot of lines, but you need to be a great singer too.
Mhm.
So not a lot of people flock to that role. So I had to actually increase the compensation for that role just to, get people to kind of, inquire about it because it requires so much. But Isis did a wonderful job with the character. She's already a great singer.
Mhm.
But she took this head on. She was committed, and she really took to Xana Barai. She really took to the character, learning how she is, how she acts, and she did such a wonderful job. So I'm really glad that we were able to, find each other and for her to be a part of this production.
Now, when you were writing the book, obviously you didn't picture this on a stage anywhere. Maybe you did, but I mean, I would think if you were writing the book, you just kind of like thought of it just for the book. Now it's on stage, and it's also a musical too. Did you ever think about having music in the actual show, or was this something that was added later?
Yeah, this is something that was added later. So when I initially wrote the story, it was just a story, short story, about 40 pages. But I've always loved Christmas music. So I mean, even when I was a kid, I've always loved Christmas music. So once we decided to adapt this into a stage play, we started thinking about different things to add to it, to make it more like a play. And I was like, oh, maybe we can add some music to this.
Hmm.
Try to get the audience, get them in a Christmas spirit. So I think with a lot of the songs, that the performers, sang, I think it'll get people in the Christmas spirit. And also about the songs, Zach, is interesting. The songs tell a story during the play. So
Nice.
it's not like they're just singing just to sing the song, but the song correlates with a scene in the play. So, like, for example, in the first scene, Xana, she's, you know, badgering, her boyfriend Monty, what is Christmas? What is all this about? And then he says, well, let me tell you. And then he sings, it's the most wonderful time of the year. So that's how their dialogue kind of goes in some scenes of the play, where they'll sing to each other to kind of explain, the scene and how things are going.
How were rehearsals for this play? I mean, were they challenging because of COVID, or was it kind of easy to get the crew together and practice?
It was pretty much easy to get the crew together to practice. I would say midway to the year, we didn't have any major COVID concerns because the numbers were down,
Mhm.
and there wasn't really a lot of the infection rates weren't as like they are now, which they're really going up here in Michigan. So we weren't really worried about that. I would say the most difficult thing with rehearsals is, a lot of the actors don't, this is not their full time job. They have other jobs,
Mhm.
outside of this. So just trying to get everybody together for rehearsals every week. For the most part, it was really good, but some days it was really challenging. But my two leads were there for every rehearsal because they're in every scene. So their attendance was extremely important for them to learn their lines, learn their songs, and learn all the other stuff. So they were there for every rehearsal. But even just finding a location to have it at was difficult at first. A lot of people still had COVID concerns, so they didn't want to do like a large group.
Mhm.
But one of our sponsors let us use their studio for most of the summer for our rehearsals, so we were grateful for that.
That's awesome. What do you want people to get out of the play when they're watching it? What's the overall message?
Oh, there's so many things. This is a comedy for the most part, so I want people to have a great time, have fun, uh, just relax and just have a good laugh. I mean, this is what the play is mostly about. but it's also about trying to explore, the true meaning of Christmas. What is Christmas? Where did Santa Claus come from? What's the correlation with Santa Claus and Jesus? Why do people give each other gifts? And, so these are things that we explore in the play. Now, the play's not like a whole historical, thing on what Christmas is. It's just a little bit here and there, but not too much where it gets boring and, okay, I don't want to know all this history. But it's mostly just a comedy. But I think I want people to kind of get from it is, what does Christmas mean to you?
Mm-hmm.
What does Christmas mean to you and to your family? What does this time of year represent for you? Now, in the play, we show what it means for Xana and Monty,
mm-hmm.
what Christmas means for the both of them. But I want people to kind of gather, okay, I have a better understanding of the historical, details of Christmas and the origins of it. But what does Christmas, mean for me and my life? So I think it's a mixture of a lot of things. But more importantly, I just want everybody just to have a great time, laugh, and just kick back.
I'm curious, how does Xany know about Christmas?
Well, you know what? First, she didn't know. So she initially came to 1941 to tell Monty something that they did. I don't want to give out the secret about what they did.
Of course.
But if anybody read the book, they already know. But she comes down and she has news to tell Monty. And before she tells him, he says, "Hey, wait a minute. Do you have a Christmas gift for me?" And Xana goes into this thing, what is a Christmas gift? What is Christmas? So she goes into this whole thing of, what Christmas is and why do we give each other gifts. She's an alien. They don't do that, 300 million light years from where she's from.
Uh-huh.
So she's really curious about this human holiday and, what it represents. And she scolds him for not knowing the meaning of his own holiday. So, like I said earlier, they just kind of try to explore what Christmas is, and a lot of their misconceptions are kind of quelled, towards the end. But the interesting thing, Zach, about Monty, he has his own struggles that he's trying to deal with, and Xana has her struggles she's trying to deal with too. And as a couple, they have their own struggles. So they resolve all these things towards the end of the play by trying to, find out what the true meaning of Christmas is. So it's a very fun journey that these two endure.
That is interesting. And, it's exciting for, the fact that anybody can go watch this play because it's online and, they can just buy a ticket and check it out. Where is the actual play where is the actual performance happening when people are watching? Well, actually, we
got done filming the play a couple of weeks ago. So we're filming here in Rochester Hills, Michigan, is where the play was performed. It's all done and set. So right now the play is in the editing phase. So we're just kind of editing and just smoothing it over, making it just perfect for when everybody can watch it. But we were able to perform at a church in St. Paul's Church in Rochester Hills. I had to give them a huge thank you because they provided us with the venue to do the play, and they were just so kind with their use of the facility and everything else. So I really had to give a huge thank you out to St. Paul's in Rochester Hills. But yeah, it was a very, very fun play to shoot.
Well, that is awesome, and I'm excited for people to check it out. Where can people buy a ticket and check out this great play?
You can go to analienchristmas.com to purchase tickets. Once you go to the website, you'll see a tab at the top. You'll see Showtime, purchase tickets. You just click on that tab, and you just follow the prompts, and it'll lead you to where you can buy tickets and watch the play. So the play is going to be shown on a website called AirMeet.
Nice.
And it's going to be shown on AirMeet. And basically, we just upload the play on AirMeet, and everybody can watch it there on December 11th at 7 p.m.
Awesome. Well, we will definitely check it out. And I definitely think lots of people will go there and take a watch to the play. And no, it's a great story. I'm excited to see what the reviews are. It's called, again, The True Meaning of Christmas from the Perspective of an Alien. And it's a play online, and it's going to be streaming this December 11th. Thank you so much, Chris. Thanks you so much for joining me here on the Zach Feldman Show. Seriously, best of luck with the play. And I'm excited and looking forward to seeing what's going to happen with it.
Hey, thank you so much, Zach. I had a great time today.
Anytime. You too. The website music station, Z Radio Live. Back with more Zach Feldman Show after this.
Want to hear more? Listen to the Zach Feldman Show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on ZRadioLive.com.